Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. We are back with a little Palworld, and in today's video we are going to take a look at my self-sufficient cake farm and breeding base location and do a quick tour of it and show you how I have everything set up. If you're unfamiliar, new to the game, or otherwise haven't dabbled in breeding yet, every pal when it's born has traits, and they're shown down there, those gold traits, and that dark trait there, Veil of Darkness, Legend, Ferocious, and Divine Dragon. Those are ability modifiers that affect its performance, essentially. It can affect its work suitability, it can affect its damage output, it can affect its defenses. So it is in your best interest to try to find ones that help versus ones that hurt. A lot of times the pals that you catch out in the wild will have negative traits on them, and you can breed those out starting at level 19. So looking at your tech tree, you can get an egg incubator as early as level 7. You do have to defeat a world boss to get the ancient technology points to be able to unlock this. However, you can get that fairly early, and I do recommend you do so because it's better than the small feed bag. It's better than the grappling gun's pretty important too. But it's better than some of this other stuff you can get. The pal condenser will be important for this as well. So there are some things in the ancient technology tree that you can unlock prior to level 19. But at level 19, that's when you unlock the breeding farm. The breeding farm is where you will assign 2 pals, and they will create eggs, provided that they are being fed cake. I don't know why cake was chosen, but that is what we need. We need cake to make. We need cake for breeding. So, how do you make cake? You get wheat, milk, eggs, and berries, and you mix them all together and have that guy breathe fire on them. That's how you make a cake. So, we'll go take a look over here. The first thing is we need to set up an area to keep our pals happy. So over here in this corner is where we got everything tucked in, but we're going to come over here and take a look at the cake. He's almost done here, so we're going to let him finish. While he finishes that, I will show you the base location that I chose for this spot and why I chose this location. So you can see here we're at -169, -220, and if you zoom in, there are a series of dirt fields around here. Those are all elevated above us. So all those fields are up above us. They don't really play into it, but what's nice about this location is that it is almost completely surrounded by cliff. So if you have raids on, there's only one direction the raids can come from. They typically come down that hill, they follow that road, and then they fight right there. So if you wanted to bolster defenses here for raid purposes, you could place a defense turret right over here and basically just mow them all down as they come down the hill. It makes it a very defensible location. Also, I think it just looks kind of neat. So we're going to grab this cake off of here, and then I will show you. As you can see here, we can make, this is just the regular cooking pot. This unlocks on a tech tree fairly early. It is one of the earlier unlocks. I believe you get it right here at level 17. So it's not that early. It is just before your breeding farm. But this cooking pot does have the cake recipe on it. The initial cooking station does not have cake on it. So as you can see, we need 5 flour, 8 red berries, 7 units of milk, 8 eggs, and 2 units of honey to make 1 cake. Now, to make sure we automated this, I have made 6 berry farms and 4 wheat fields. And that provides us more than enough wheat and more than enough berries. And then we put 2 ranches over here. And these ranches are staffed by 2 chickapees, 2 musmarinas, and 1 bee. Bee guard. The queen bee does not produce honey. So these ranches are where you're going to get your honey, your eggs, and your milk. Your farms are where you're going to get your berries and your wheat. And then the pals do tend to use the feed box, but we got berries. We're full. That's why they're not storing them. But you can see we produce in abundance. I had 63 cakes being made earlier. The 18 that was left was just finishing those off. So with these eggs, we should be able to make another, I don't know, 40, 45 cakes here. So that's the cake side of things. Nope, we don't have any flour. We gotta turn the wheat into flour, but you can see it doesn't make a ton of wheat. That's what these mills are for. Sometimes Azerobe doesn't really finish the job. All these do is make flour. We're going to make 437 flour there. Azerobe's going to come over and spray them. But she's responsible for watering everything. So and I'll go over the PAL setup here at the end. I kind of already did. But the general build here is 2 ranches, 15 PAL beds. You can use the good PAL beds if you want. This was a fairly quick build. 1 feed box, 1 cooking station, 6 berry farms, 4 wheat farms, 2 mills, because that's in case she doesn't get these ones done and I want to get another load going. You can run them side by side. And then 3 breeding pens. I have two incubators here. My settings are set so that the egg time is reduced to 0 because the breeding time takes so long. I'm fine with lowering that setting a little bit so that I don't have to wait for the eggs to incubate and then hatch them. That little shack over there just has a bed in it, and that's so when it gets dark like it is now, I can just go over there and rest. We have 1 chest. That chest holds excess stuff. Right now it's got a bunch of crap in it I don't really need. As you can see, right now only 1 of my breeding facilities is currently in use, and that's because we are breeding. We're breeding for runner on Jet Dragon. I do have one of these Jet Dragons has Swift on it. I would like to get runner on the other one. I'm going to go ahead and rest here to get daytime back, and then we'll go over the PAL setup and why I chose the PALs that I did. And then the condenser in the middle, just because it's big and bulky, and that's where I decided to put it. So looking at the base, like I said, we have two Mozzarina. This one is a level 3 milk maker. The Lucky Artisan Serious Work Slave. That does not really impact anything at the ranch because all that does is increase the animation of making the milk. So it doesn't really make milk more frequently. It does the animation faster. Same thing with the chickpea. This one's at egg layer 3. But it also has Lucky and Artisan on them. Both these have Lucky and Artisan. The passives don't really affect, but the egg layer level 3 does. That's where that condenser comes into play. Again, I'll explain that. If you don't know what the condenser does, you can take one of your pals. Let's say we're going to take this Cadaver, and then you can put 4 other Cadavers in there, and then begin condensation. What it will do is increase its stats, and then increase its PAL ability to the next level. So the first time you do it, it costs 4. The second time you do it, it costs 16, then 32, then 64. You need a total of 116 additional PALs to get from level 0 to 4 stars. So it is a little bit of a time commitment. Something that can be done. I did actually do it to a Cadaver. So he's at level 4 star. Cat Helper 5, so it does boost your carrying capacity. That's not what we're here to talk about, though. So we have cows, chickens, and a bee. This bee guard, I have not condensed him at all yet. It does produce honey at a pretty good rate. I haven't really had a reason. I'm never lacking honey. Honey is is the resource you need the smallest amount of for a cake. So you can get away with having only one bee here, but you really do need the 2 chickens and the 2 cows. As far as the infrastructure of the facility, Lylene handles most of the planting as a level 4 planter. Level 4 planter and a level 2 harvester. She does most of the garden work. She will plant the fields, she will plow the fields. Azerob has level 3 on watering, so this one handles all of the watering. She'll water all the fields and she waters the mill. So we have our ranches covered with the top row, the cows, the chickens, and the bee. Our farms are covered by Lylene and Azerob, and then once Lylene knocks down all the harvest, it just lays there. So we have Hell Zephyrs in there to transport it. He brings it over to the feed box, which I don't love, but there's enough berries in there. That's the byproduct of having so many berry farms, is that you have an abundance of berries. So that's what your pals will eat as long as they're in the first slot on the feed box. So make sure you keep your berries in the first slot of the feed box, and then they'll leave the milk, they'll leave the eggs, they'll leave everything else alone. As for cooking, we have Jormuntide Ignis. The only thing he does is kindling. He has a kindling level 4, and all he does is make the cakes. So this one has Workaholic, so his sanity goes down a little bit lower, or a little bit slower, I'm sorry. But I didn't breed that into him. I haven't bred this guy yet. You can get him up to kindling 5 if you condense him to 4 stars. I just don't see the need. He makes cakes fairly quickly, 45 seconds a piece or so. So this setup allows for two full breeding pairs, essentially. Right now I've only got the Jet Dragons breeding, but I could be breeding another one. So say I wanted to get the Jormuntide leveled up, I could be breeding another set of Jormuntides here. But you'll notice that I have 3. That's because we're not working at full capacity right now. I don't really have a breeding project going right this second other than the Jet Dragons. Trying to get Runner on the Jet Dragon to go with Swift, and I would like Nimble as well, because that makes it the fastest mount in the game. That's why they're running. They're almost always running, just because. We'll open a couple Jet Dragon eggs and see what happens. But that's the base. If you wanted to build this similar base, I am very happy with this build. I had plenty of room to build a viewing cage to put my collection of flower top goomouses in. They are not as rare as people think they are, as evidenced by the fact that I have 21 of them in here, I think. Something like that. They're not that rare. They're cool, but they're not that rare. They don't do anything. So that's the base. Let's grab a couple of these Jet Dragon eggs and see what happens. No, stay here. Fun fact, if you are weighed down and carrying too many items, you can use your grapple gun to get to where you're going. Alright, once again, we're looking for Runner or Nimble. Come on. First try. Alright. Well, I'm going to stop the video there. That's about as good as this video is going to get. So, if you liked what you saw, go ahead and smash that like button. If you want to find your way back here for more Palworld content, go ahead and hit that sub button. As always, thank you for watching. Have a great day.